great idea.
Yeah, like that.
And you got the color right with the blanket. How nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody else make a model of their planet? Oh, well, you can do it later this week if you want to. Darshika, that's so creative. Well done. How many of you have finished your planet paragraphs? Krish?
Could I tell what I wrote? There's like this cool flag. Why? Yeah, so Neptune was discovered at September 23rd, 1846. The average temperature in Neptune is negative 353 Fahrenheit, 214 Celsius. Neptune was discovered by John Gottfried Galley. The methane in Neptune's upper atmosphere absorbs the red light from the sun but reflects the blue light from the sun back into space. This is why Neptune appears blue.
Cool.
Neptune comes from the Roman god of sea and has a symbol. This is the symbol. I'll show you the symbol. I think you could see it.
Not yet. Oh, yes. Now I can.
And also the largest moon on Neptune is Triton. Neptune is made out of thick fog of water, ammonia, and methane. Neptune rings, this is a cool fact, Neptune rings are named after astronomers. Actually, they're named after astronomers. The smallest moon on Neptune is Hippocamp. Neptune was the first planet located through mathematical calculation rather than by telescope.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's so far away that people couldn't see it. They just used math to realize that it was there.
Yeah, and
Well,
the biggest ring, Neptune, was the Lazo ring. It's named after an English astronomer named William Lazo. He was also the one who discovered Triton, Neptune's largest moon.
Very interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
Miss Ghana, can I tell my paragraph?
Sure. Do you have it handy? I'd love to hear what everybody wrote. I am seeing them posted on Bright Thinker, but it's nice to hear it from you all actually saying it. Okay, sure. We'll have time for Darshika and Drishya to share. And then if anybody else wants to share, maybe we can do it later in class.
All planets are awesome, but my favorite is Saturn. Saturn has 62 moons, and another cool thing, it rains diamonds. Wow! It was discovered in 1610. Do you know the age of Saturn?
15 million years. Total guess. Anybody have a good guess as to how old it might be? Arima?
Maybe around 1 billion years.
Maybe 1 billion? Is it less or more than that? 5? Okay, Darshika, you'll just tell us.
It's 4.503 billion years old.
Oh, you were really close with 5 billion.
Yeah, it's like 4.503, and the orbital period is 29.4 Earth years because the Saturn's, that's my paragraph.
Nice. I hope you guys have enjoyed learning about your planet and getting an opportunity to write about it. We'll hear one more from Drishya now, and then if we have time, we'll do another one later.
Jupiter. Fifth in line from the Sun is Jupiter. It is the largest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is larger than all our planets in the solar system put together. It has a red dot. It is a cyclone bigger than Earth. Some people say Jupiter is a failed star because Jupiter is really big and it's amazingly bright at night. But Jupiter is not a failed star because Jupiter needs much more mass for it to be a star. Nice. Jupiter has more conformed moons than any other planet in the solar system. Jupiter's familiar stripes and swirls are actually cold, windy storms of ammonia. That's all.
Great. I love that.
I couldn't fit anything else in the rest of the page.
I know. I bet a lot of you had more information that you could have written, but you didn't have enough space. Wow. Oh, well, this is such a fun little research project, and I hate to finish up our astronomy unit since there's so much more we could be doing about it, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed that so far. The other assignments on Bright Thinker are pretty simple today. We've got a little quiz on Farmer Boy, which was supposed to be on Friday, and with the snow days, we just had to push it back. So should be pretty quick and easy, just over the things that have happened in the first 3 chapters so far. Then you have a McCall Crabs little reading passage to read and answer questions from. We'll do 2 of those this week. And some history notes. And we do have some math pages and well-ordered language pages that we're going to get to in our lesson today.
Miss Ghana, do you
Yes, Darshika?
So, like, I finished my Farmer Boy quiz yesterday because I was so bored. There was no activity, so I just
Oh, and it was available for you? I didn't know if I had blocked it yet. It was available?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
So you didn't do any literature today, except for maybe your McCall Crabs.
Yeah, and another thing is, can you make me restart the McCall Crabs? I knew the answer, but it was zoomed in, so I accidentally clicked the submit.
Me too.
Oh, okay, yes. Send me an email or Google Chat message, and I'll do that later. If that ever happens, I can reassign it to you if you left things blank. But in general, with McCall Crabs, once you're done, you're just done. So there's not going to be retrying those assignments. But if you have blanks, I'll definitely let you redo it.
No, it's not like a blank, Miss Gunnar. I clicked the answer, but I was about to say, I know this answer's wrong. And I was about to click United States, but it was almost zoomed in. So I don't know.
Okay, I'll let you try it again. Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, boys and girls, we are going to get started on the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto now. Please join me in saying the pledge. Actually, Devant, would you like to lead us in saying the pledge and school motto?
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Honor. I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I will
Others?
show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things for others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement.
Thank you so much, Devant. Boys and girls, let's have a moment of silence before we get our whiteboards out. Okay, let's take out our whiteboard and marker for some spelling review and phonogram review now. By the way, Drisha, you don't have to put your hand across your heart for the honor code. It is definitely respectful to do that for the pledge. We should do that for the Pledge of Allegiance. For the honor code, you can keep your hand there, but it's specifically for the pledge to show respect to our country and the flag, to put our hand over our heart to say that it's something, a serious proclamation.
I just thought we have to do it.
Not necessarily for the school pledge, but if you do keep your hand there, then you certainly are welcome to do that. But don't worry about it if other people are not doing it. For the pledge, we really should, though. Everybody should always put their hand over their heart for the pledge. Okay, boys and girls, time for some phonograms. And Sai and Adarsh, it looks like your cameras might be turned off. Can you turn them back on, please? Sai Sanav was in the early class this morning, so he's not joining us. Okay, time for some phonograms. Let's begin with E-A. E-A. Adarsh, it looks like your camera is still turned off. Would you please turn it back on? If you can hear me, Adarsh, please turn your camera on. E-A. Next up, please write ooh. Just ooh. Ooh. Okay, Rashi, we're writing ooh, the phonogram ooh. Like fruit or suitcase. Next up is a four-letter A. A four-letter A. Perfect arima, like nay, or way, or wait. Next up, I love all of the planets over there, Darshika. Next up is I, three-letter I. I, three-letter I. Adarsh, if you can hear me, please turn your camera on. I, three-letter I. Like right or sight. Next. Let's see, what was the last one? Oh, E-I, piece of pie. We say E-I, but we write I-E. There is the last phonogram. Excellent job if you got them all right today. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. Oh, Drisha's EI is in her solemn column. Okay, time for some spelling words to review. Remember that our quiz will take place on a Thursday this week because on Friday, we will not have live class. Okay, our first word to review is windmill. Please write windmill. Please write these in print. If you write them in cursive, it should be the second time, not the first time though, because we should still be marking these. Windmill. Next up, please write occasion. Occasion. Keep in mind for this one, there's a double C, occasion. Great job for those who remembered that. That's, I know, a tricky one. Double C, only one S though. A lot of times people end up flipping that. But it's occasion. Occasion. Adarsh, still waiting for you to turn your camera on. If you can hear me, please turn it on. Adarsh, you're alive. There you are. Well, I had no idea where you were. We missed you, bud. Occasion. Okay, so double C, only one S. Next up, please write relief. Relief. E says its name in the first syllable. An open syllable. Second syllable, the E sound is EI piece of pie. Relief. Great job. I'm still waiting for a few people. Rihanna, is there any way to turn the light on in there so we can see you better?
Yeah.
Then can you please do it?
Sure.
Thank you. Want to see your face. Here's relief. Next up, please write relieve. Change that F to a V. And what else do we need to do? Shatish, what else do we need to do to change it to relieve?
Then add a E. Job 2.
Silent final E.
Job 2.
Good job. Add that silent final E, job 2. Relief becomes relieve. Changing it from a noun to a verb. Relieve. Once you're done with that, let's write just one more word for review. Sacrifice. Oh, Rihanna, I can see you so much better now. Last word, sacrifice. Let's stop the pictures, boys and girls, because it seems like people are focusing a little more on the picture than the word. Sacrifice. Excellent job, Krish, Darshika, Arima, Sai. If you have not shown me sacrifice, please hold up your board so I can see it. Excellent job, Drishya. Great markings, Shatij. Sacrifice. That's all for our review today. You can erase your board now. And take out your binder for a new spelling lesson. Yes, Arima?
You accidentally did job 2.
Oh, I did do
Is it
job 2.
semi-finally?
Sorry, it's actually a job 1 and 3, sacrifice. 2 jobs, but neither one of them is a job 2. Okay, good reminder of that, Arima. Time for our new spelling lesson today. Today, we've got some more kind of tough words, although it's only really 2 base words that we're working with today. Just 2 bases. Okay, first word for today is combustible. Does anybody know what this word means? Combustible? Arima? You're a word man. I think you know it.
It's like able to explode.
Yeah, able to explode.
Able to bust up.
Able to bust open. That's a good way to think of it. So it means that it is able to like catch on fire. There's things that are flammable about it. But combustible especially relates to more explosions. Things that are combustible could include actually one of our words from yesterday. No, we didn't have petroleum yesterday. What was it? Kerosene, right? So kerosene is a combustible substance. It's able to catch fire, and there could be explosions because of that substance being used. Combustible. It's a fun word to say. Sai?
Will we do combustion?
Able to bust open.
Will we do combustion?
We should. That would go with this, but we don't have that as a word. Combustion would have been a great one. They should have put that in this lesson, though. They need to consult Sai next time they make some changes to this curriculum. You always have some good suggestions of other words that would go with it.
That one's a little
Okay. Please sound out combustible with me, and we're going to think to spell it as combustible. The first syllable is unstressed. Combustible. 4 syllables. First syllable, ka-a-m, basic code. Next syllable, b-a-s-t, 4 sounds. Also basic code, combust. Next syllable, I, basic code, combust I. Next syllable, b-ol. 2 sounds. We need a silent final E because those are only consonant sounds. Please pick up your pencil and write combustible. We've got the able suffix, very similar to the able suffix. Able. Combustible. Who's done with combustible? Yes, Tricia?
No, I wanted to mark the word.
Oh, okay. I would be happy to have you do it.
Yay.
In just a moment. Combustible. K-a-m, syllable break. B-a-s-t, syllable break. I, syllable break. B-ol. Combustible. Check that your spelling matches mine, please. And go ahead, Drishya, tell us the markings.
The first syllable is basic code. The second syllable is basic code. The third syllable is basic code, and the fourth syllable you double underline the sound final E and put a 4 next to it because it's a 4, and then you underline the B and the L because yeah. And it's an adjective because it describes an object.
Correct. Great job, Dershia. Combustible, check that your spelling matches mine and your markings match mine. What's going on, Darshika?
I think I know the next word.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think you do, unfortunately, because the next one doesn't come from the same base word. But what could have been another word with this base word?
Yeah. What could have been is combustion reaction. There's something called that. And,
Nice.
And there could have been combust.
Nice. There could have been combust, the base word, or combustion. If we wrote combustion, we'd have that Sean suffix with the T.
It's a combustion reaction. It explodes.
That's right. It's a chemical reaction of different things, reacting with one another that results in an explosion, combustion. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have any more combustible words. I think that would have been great to have a little bit more to go along with this base word, but that's the end for the lesson, unfortunately. I've cried a couple tears for no more explosions, unfortunately, in the spelling lesson today. No more explosions. Oh, but we do have as our next word something that could rupture, and a rupture is kind of like an explosion. Ruptures can happen when one of our body parts, there's like an explosion in it. That's right. Now, who has heard of an appendix? Your appendix, all of you have an appendix. It is next to your large intestine. And it hangs down, drops down. Let me show you what it looks like. This is actually something we'll be studying pretty soon because we're about to start a whole unit on the human body after we do light and sound.
It's not gross, right?
I would say it is not gross, but it is. Well, some of you might be grossed out by it, but it's just part of the human body.
Yes, like some people say my appendix just busted. Some
Yeah, so people could have a ruptured appendix. The appendix is right here, this little part that hangs down in your large intestine. Okay, so here's the small intestine, there's your bowel, there's the appendix hanging down. Slightly gross, I bet, for some of you. However, that's just part of the human body. If any of you want to be a doctor one day, you've got to get used to seeing the intestines and the appendix right down there too.
In real life, it will look disgusting.
Yeah, it probably
Rashi,
did in real life, but
Rashi.
hopefully not. Oh, does Rashi want to be a doctor?
No, Rashi's saying that it's gross, but you have it exactly inside you. You have it
Yep,
right
it's
inside
inside.
yourself.
And it's a good point from Sai that maybe if it was real, that might be a little bit gross because it could be like kind of slimy. But the picture is just showing your coiled up intestine and the appendix that hangs down.
Just
Now-
showed the
Oh, Ahana, I guess, doesn't want to be a doctor or a nurse. Look at her over there. Oh, and Adarsh is eating as he learns about an appendix. I guess it's not too gross. Now, an appendix also could relate to books that you read. An appendix is generally in the back of the book, and it has like extra note information. So your appendix is at the end of a lot of times like a nonfiction book or a textbook. I was seeing if we have one in well-ordered language, and we do. We have a literary appendix, which means a list of books and poems in our well-ordered language book. Okay? So appendix, you got it, Darshika. Okay, so it has two meanings. It comes from the Latin word appendere, which means to hang down. So whether it's the appendix in our body that hangs down off of the intestine, or an appendix in the book, which is like an extra part that kind of hangs off the book. Either way, it has to do with that Latin base. We're going to pronounce this word appendix. The first syllable is unstressed, but we think of it as appendix. Appendix. 3 syllables. Can you sound it out with me? Appendix. 3 syllables. First syllable, app, 2 sounds. We have a double p in this word. The first one's there just to close off the syllable. Next syllable, p-a-n. 3 sounds, like a pen that we write with. A pen. Last syllable, Adarsh, is d-ix. Appendix. What's the word, boys and girls? Appendix. We think to spell appendix. Please pick up your pencil and write appendix. Give me a big thumbs up if you're finished. Excellent job. Okay. P, syllable break. P, n, syllable break. D, ix, appendix. Adarsh, would you please tell me the markings in the word?
So I think you double underline the
The first one, good. What else?
I don't remember.
We pronounce it appendix. So there's one more.
Cap on the A?
Perfect.
So you're thinking cap on the X?
No, good guess, but that's all. There's actually no other markings in the word because both of these are basic code syllables.
Okay.
Great job, Adarsh. Now this word is what part of speech it is? Do you know it?
Well, it's a noun, but you forgot one marking. Double underline the first speech.
Oh, you know what? I did do that, but it's kind of hard to see. Let me make that more clear.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, it was hard to see. Okay, appendix is a noun. Now, the plural of appendix is kind of strange. We changed the x or x to make it appendices. That's how we say more than one appendix. And we don't use that very often for like the appendix in our body because we only have one appendix. So it'd be used for like the notes at the back of a book if we want to say appendices. Can you all say appendices?
Appendices.
Appendices, yeah. Kind of strange. We have, instead of the X, we switch it to x, and then we add an es plural ending. So appendi, take off the x, and add s, e, z. So switch X for X. And then E, Z. Please write appendices. Thumbs up if you're done with appendices. Okay. P, syllable break. P, n, syllable break. D, I. Now for the new part. S, E, Z. Appendices. What's going on, Drisha?
Why are you asking?
What were you laughing about?
Oh, Darshik was falling asleep, and then she was like, yeah.
Falling asleep? Was I taking too long, Darshika?
So I was laughing about that.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Krish, can you tell us the markings in the word?
Yeah, and also I thought we have to add a silent final E because to make the E say its name.
E says its name kind of strangely. That I don't even know why it's not appendices, but we pronounce it appendices.
Okay, so let me just rewrite that.
Okay.
Or could I just erase it?
I need you to cross it out and rewrite it.
Okay. So we will taking cap the A.
Good.
Taking cap the A, double underline the first P.
Good.
And then wait 1 minute. After we do that, we put a 2 above the C.
Good.
And then we underline the E.
Good.
Is that all?
Last one, appendices.
It's a 2 above the S.
Perfect. This one's also a noun. It's a plural noun.
The one.
Okay, good job. Now, the last word also comes from that base word appendix. The last one is the word for when there is an infection in your appendix. Does anybody know what it is? Arima?
Is it appendicitis?
Yes, but we pronounce it just slightly different. We pronounce it appendicitis.
Oh.
Good job. The itis ending is for when there is a medical condition, some sort of problem, like an infection. So it's appendicitis. We're going to keep that s and then add the itis ending, which is I, in an open syllable saying its name, is. Appendicitis. Please pick up your pencil and write it. Appendicitis. Last syllable is basic code. Devansh, do you want to mark it?
No, I was asking what is the word again?
Appendicitis. We think to spell appendicitis. Who's ready to go over the correct spelling? Oops. Let me cross that out and rewrite. Syllable break. Syllable break. Syllable break. Syllable break. Is appendicitis. Ahana, would you mark it for us?
So the first P in the first syllable, that will be double underlined.
Good.
E saying its name in an open syllable in number 2.
Actually, it's a pin, so there should be a basic code syllable there.
Mm-hmm. So,
and we'll thinking cap the A.
And
Ahna, over here, this is saying its name or saying its first sound. What about this one though?
we will underline it.
Good. Underline I. And what about the C? Appendicitis.
We will use a 2 above it.
Good. 2 on top. And over here, that's basic code. So this is a noun. That's all of our markings. Okay, boys and girls, that is all for our spelling lesson. Who has already written them in cursive at the bottom? Great job if so. Now, if you haven't, take some time to do it later after class today, or if there's ever times when we're pausing and you're ahead of the class. I do want us to do some cursive all together today, though. I'd like us to write our prepositions in cursive. Okay? Now, not all of them. We'll keep doing more of them throughout the week, but I want us to do our first 9 prepositions. Who can tell me the first 9 prepositions? Krish?
Aboard about a boat, cross after hands. Aboard about a boat. Aboard about a boat. Aboard about a boat, cross after hands. Among, around, preposition rooms. And also along.
Good. Okay. So aboard, we'll do it according to the tune of our song. Aboard, about, above, across, under, against, along, among, around, preposition words.
Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, both.
Okay, so aboard, about, above, across, after,
aboard,
against, along, among, around, preposition words. There's all of our prepositions in cursive. Lots of A practice today because we're doing all of the A prepositions and a lot of the spelling words began with an A. Thumbs up once you're done with all 9 of these first set of prepositions. We'll keep doing this throughout the rest of the week. Doing the next group would be before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, at, by. Preposition words. Who can finish the song for me? What comes after that part? Darshika?
Down the axum, fall from, into, and into near preposition words.
Good. Of, off, on, out, outside, over, past, since, through. Preposition words.
To go out, to, under, up until.
Good. Boys and girls, you are welcome to sing it according to, I know that's the tune of the way you learned it in 2nd grade, but let's listen to, as you're finishing this up, the tune of our well-ordered language song. You can sing along as you're continuing to write your prepositions. Can you all hear it? Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around. Preposition words. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, at, by. Preposition words. Down, during, except, for, from, inside, in, into, near. Preposition words. Of, off, on, out, outside, over. Past, since, through. Preposition words. Throughout, to, toward, under, up, until. Upon, with, within, without, underneath. Preposition words. Preposition words. Preposition words. Okay, so let's transition over to well-ordered language now. If you did not finish those prepositions, you can do it after class. Finish up writing them in cursive. At this time, though, we're going to flip over to page 98 in your well-ordered language workbook. Give me a big thumbs up if you're already finished with your prepositions and on to page 98 in your workbook. Excellent. Now, in our chapter this week and next, we're going to be learning about introductory prepositional phrases. What are introductory prepositional phrases? Does anybody remember? Think of what an introduction is. Shatish?
It's when the prepositional phrase is in the beginning of a sentence.
Perfect. It's when it's at the beginning of a sentence. And we'll talk through some hints about how we can best find those in a little bit. Now, another big part of this chapter, though, is we're going to be talking about fragments. Do you all know what a fragment is? Brianna, what's a fragment? Oh, goodness. Hate when that happens. Rashi, do you know what a fragment is?
It's a piece of
It's not a whole sentence. It's just,
I don't know.
yeah, like a piece of it or part of it. Arjun, can you add on to that?
A fragment is basically a sentence that doesn't have a subject and a predicate.
Good. It's missing some of the principal elements. Remember that the principal elements are subject and predicate are those two parts. So it's missing a subject or a predicate, or maybe it's missing both, and it's a fragment because it's just a prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase is not a sentence on its own. That's why we call it adverbial, because it just modifies a verb. That's all a prepositional phrase does. Now, I would love for Rihanna to read this paragraph telling us about what a fragment is. And then we're going to complete this little section together.
What paragraph?
Page 98, the one that is on my screen.
Okay. You learned in WOL 1A that sentence is a group of words expressing a complete thought. You also know that to be a complete, the sentence needs both a subject and a predicate. The principal elements, a group of words that looks like a sentence starting with a capital letter and ending with a period, is not a sentence if it is missing neither a subject or a predicate or both. Then it is called a fragment. You should avoid fragments in your writing.
Thank you. So we have some sentences and fragments here. A fragment, as it says here, is missing either a subject or a predicate, or in some cases, both. For example, around the grayish-blue rusty bike carrier. Now that is basically one long prepositional phrase. Around what? Around carrier. That's just a phrase. That doesn't have a subject or a predicate. Let's do number 1 now. On the old yellow bicycle. Does that have a subject? Does that have a predicate? On the old yellow bicycle. Does it make complete sense on its own? No. I see some thumbs down telling me that must be a fragment. Arjun, could you tell me why it's a fragment?
It's a fragment because it doesn't have a predicate. I mean, I think bicycle is a subject, but it doesn't really have a predicate. It's not telling what the bicycle is doing or if a person is doing something on the bicycle.
Yeah. No, we have a noun, bicycle, but it's not even acting as a subject because it's just the object of the preposition on. On what? On a bicycle. We don't know who or what is on the old yellow bicycle, and we don't know what they're doing. We don't have a subject or a predicate. So we're going to write fragment.
You do it in cursive?
Yes, please. To make it a complete sentence, and Rashi, I should see you writing this. We could say something like, on the old yellow bicycle, a porcupine delivered the newspapers. That would be a nonsense sentence, but it is a complete sentence. Ahana, would you like to do number 2 for us? Read the sentence and tell me if it is a sentence or fragment.
Near the tall tower, the birds rested. This is a sentence.
Good. How can you tell?
It has a subject and predicate and all the principal elements.
Good. It has the principal elements. Birds is a subject. Nested is a predicate. So let's write sentence. Adarsh, I'd love for you to do the next one. Read the sentence and tell me, is it a sentence or is it a fragment? Number 3, whenever you're ready.
Sentence?
Well, would you please read it first?
Later, after the girls' bike ride.
Okay. Later after the girls' bike ride. Does that have a subject and predicate?
No.
Nope, it doesn't. So that means it's what?
A fragment.
Correct. Does it make sense to say just later after the girls' bike ride?
No.
Why not?
Because it doesn't have like a predicate.
Yeah, it's not telling us what's happening after the girls' bike ride. All it is saying later after the girls' bike ride. When you read a fragment, probably you're left wondering, well, what's happening? What's happening in this girls' bike ride? We don't know. I would love for Devansh to do number 4.
So this is a sentence because they're telling us who this sentence is.
Outside sheep ride.
We know who's doing it, and we know what she's doing. So
Good.
it should be a sentence.
You're right. Now, even though it's
outside would be
shorter, yeah, outside would be an adverb. You're correct. So does it matter that it's really short?
No, it just has to have a subject and a predicate to matter, even if it is a sentence. Like they bite. That even if it's 2 words, it's still a sentence since it's a subject and a predicate.
Very well said, Devansh. Yeah, it doesn't matter how short it is. All that matters is there a subject and predicate? Do we have those principal elements? We could have a fragment that goes on and on and on without a subject and predicate. Doesn't matter how long it is. If it doesn't have a subject and predicate, it's not a sentence. Okay, I'd like you to take a moment to do the next 2 on your own, and then let's go over the answers. Read those on your own and think, is it a sentence or is it a fragment? Okay, thumbs up if you're done with 5 and 6. Devansh is done. Arima's done. Okay. Shatij, tell us what you did for number 5. Sentence or fragment?
Well, on number 5, on number 5, I did it should be a fragment.
Perfect. It's long, but it doesn't have a subject and predicate.
Yeah.
And finally, number 6, Arima, what did you do for that?
I did a sentence because it has a subject and predicate telling what the subject is doing.
Good. We have a subject and predicate. Doesn't matter that it's only 3 words. It is a sentence. All of these other ones, by the way, have been a bunch of, we've had quite a few prepositional phrases. Like in number 5, it's actually just 2 different prepositional phrases. Okay, time for our last part of our well-ordered language class. We're going to go through how to mark a sentence that has an introductory prepositional phrase. And I think you're going to find this easier than the last chapter because I have a special hint for you guys. You ready for a special hint? Now, as always, when we analyze sentences, you should really read through the sentence, think about what's happening. For example, at the soccer game, Winston ordered a hamburger. Make a mental picture of at the soccer game, Winston ordered a hamburger. I see Rashi, really making a mental picture. Krish is, I guess, becoming Winston himself. Now, here is the hint. You guys ready for it? Here's a clue. When you see a comma early on in the sentence, it's usually there to set off to the side the prepositional phrase. Now, it's going to be that way for clauses, but you're not going to have to worry about that as third graders. We're not going to do that until fourth grade. But right now for third grade, when you see a comma after a few words, that's telling you end of a prepositional phrase. Now on to the next part. So that's basically setting aside that whole prepositional phrases here. And then we're going to start with the rest of our sentence. Doesn't that make it easy? So Devansh, keeping that in mind, what's the prepositional phrase in sentence 1?
So in sentence 1, the prepositional phrase is at the soccer game, and also for for 98, it's a pattern. It's fragment sentence, fragment sentence, fragment sentence.
You're right.
And then also for when I was doing my stuff, I noticed that all of the sentences had a comma after them. So I thought I need to put a sentence on the page 101. So I did it, and then you actually gave us the hint.
Yeah, it makes it pretty easy. Look, you can see a comma in all of these sentences, and it tells you that's the end of the prepositional phrase. So when it's time to start writing your own sentences with prepositional phrases, you want a comma after that one. If it's at the beginning, we only do that if it's at the beginning of a sentence, though. Okay, now that has made it easier to find our phrases. We've got the very first word, at, is a preposition. Winston ordered the hamburger at what? At a game. Soccer and the, just modify that game. What are the principal elements here? What's the subject and predicate, Sai?
The subject and predicate on
Number 1.
at the soccer game, Winston ordered a hamburger was Winston is the subject and ordered is the predicate verb.
Perfect. Winston ordered. Now we know a is an adjective. It's modifying the word that comes after it, hamburger. But what is hamburger?
Hamburger is the correct object.
Perfect. It's a DO. And a modifies it.
Describing how much.
Good. Now, what is the last part of the sentence that we have to analyze?
You put at as an adverb, and then you put a prep under it.
Perfect.
Preposition.
Okay, boys and girls, I want you to do number 2 on your own. Take a minute or two to do that, and then we'll go over the answers. Who's finished with sentence 2? A few of you, let me wait on the rest. Did the comma help you? Those commas can be quite helpful with the introductory prepositional phrases. Okay. Again, give me a thumbs up if you're done. Okay, let me hear from a couple different people. Tricia, would you tell us what the prepositional phrase is?
I think it's
Sweetheart, did you not do this on your own already?
yeah, I did do it, but I'm really confused.
Give us your best guess.
The afternoon?
Not just the afternoon. What do you see in front of it? The is an adjective, so that's not going to be the preposition. What's the preposition? Look at the sentence before you to help.
By the afternoon?
Perfect. By the afternoon. Tricia, most of the time it's going to be the very first word in a sentence with these introductory prepositional phrases. And the more and more you memorize your prepositions, the better you're going to get with this too. By, afternoon, and the is an adjective. Arjun, tell me the subject and predicate.
For 2,
Uh-huh.
he asked.
Good. He, subject, asked, predicate, verb. Now, some of you might have found this before finding the subject and predicate because it's another prepositional phrase. Or you could have waited and maybe seen after you were done. But we have another prepositional phrase. Who found that? We have 2 phrases. Good job. They both modify asked. Okay, great job, everybody. That's all for our well-ordered language time today. I hope that comma hint helps you in finding these introductory prepositional phrases. It's going to set that phrase aside from the rest of the sentence. But note that there can be more prepositional phrases like this one too. Okay. Let's write our words in orthography now. Would you take out your notebook? And take a little moment to stretch, a little break. You guys have been doing some great hard work. We'll turn to page 56 to write the words from today. "56. Okay, are you guys all ready to write your words? The first word, let me act them out. Actually, can you all act out the first word? Do you remember what it is? Combustible. Good job. Next word. Appendix. Please write appendix.
Miss Gardner, we can't see you since your video is off.
Well, my video is off of the document camera, but you should just be writing what you hear. Sometimes I show you as we're writing, but right now I just want you to write what you hear. Next is appendices, the plural. It's an unusual plural. And the last one is appendicitis. Okay, your word should look like this. Okay, it's been a while since we've sorted any words, but we are going to sort in one page today, and that's page 25, where we have nouns, plurals, and classes. And because appendices is a really interesting irregular plural. So I'd like to write those. Appendix and appendices at the bottom of page 25. Oops, page 25. Not age. Okay, this is going to go at the bottom of the page. Do you guys see where it says irregular? Irregular means not regular. It's not a normal plural. We changed the X to a C before we add our suffix, es. Appendix and appendices. Appendix and appendices. That's all we're going to sort for today. I just wanted to take some time to do that since we haven't had some good irregular plurals yet this year. Tricia?
Like you could also put appendices at the top of the page. It says proper. Just put it there.
You know, proper nouns are capitalized and it's like the name of something specific. I think it would depend on how it's used, whether or not that would be proper. So, but good, very good thought. Okay, that is all for orthography. The last part of our literacy class is going to be 2 new root cards. Would you all take out 2 new root cards today? Who remembers the Latin root from yesterday that we learned? Tricia?
Cum.
Cum, 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 cum.
It means with and with together. Ms. Gardner, can I tell you one more thing?
Yes.
Actually, I had we also bought 3 cards. We also bought 3 packs of index cards like Darshika, and so I had I only took half of one pack, and then so I actually used some of the cards to make some playing cards.
Nice, good job.
So far, I have the kings and the jacks.
Oh, like you're making your own set of, like a deck of cards. That's really a cool idea.
Yeah.
Okay, boys and girls. Sorry, Tricia, we'll have to stop it there.
Okay.
So cum is our new Latin word, which, as Dricia said, means with and together. Cum. And the first word we learned as a derivative was community. What does community mean? Arima?
It's a group of people who build together.
Good. It's a group that builds together. Community. We're going to be looking at two words today that don't seem like they would be derivatives because it doesn't have that C-U-M or C-O-M spelling, but they have a co beginning, just C-O. The first one is collaborate. Who's heard of that word collaborate? Now, in the word collaborate, there's co, and that's the part that comes from the word cum. But there's also the word labor, and labor means to work. So what do you think this word means? Krish?
Work together.
Yeah, you got it. Work together, or they've said that the definition is work with, but work together also makes sense. So collaborate, like if you collaborate with another person, you're working with that person. Collaborate. Rihanna, it doesn't look like you're writing, sweetheart. Can you write collaborate? And the definition is work with. Great job, Sai. Okay. And we're going to do one more. I think you'll like this one. Because, I don't know if you realize this, but the word Lego comes from Latin. Did you know Lego is a Latin word? Who loves Legos?
I do, but I know it wasn't in English because it was weird when you say it.
The word Lego is like a Latin word spelled exactly like that, Lego. And it means like gathering, which makes sense because a lot of you probably have Legos in like a giant bin and you gather them, all of the little pieces together. So Lego means gather. Now, we're unfortunately not going to have that word Lego today. We might get to that eventually, but it's going to be part of this word collect, because to collect means basically to gather together. So Lego, that part means gather, and I've put Lego there so you can see that's the Latin part. And then co means together, so gather together. Ahana, do you want to show your Legos?
Can I also show my friends?
Yeah, I'd love to see them.
So this is the one that I made. This is the one that I made.
Wow.
So then let me get the other one.
Was it with instructions or not?
Sai's got some cool Lego collection pieces too. Are those some Mandalorian? Nope.
Oh my lord. Then this is my friends.
Whoa, Ahana, those are so impressive. Arjun asked, is that with instructions that you could make that? Cool.
Ahana, could you show yours again?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that you guys do Legos. That is so impressive, Ahana.
Oof.
It's massive.
So my little brother, he also plays with Legos, and then he wants this one. He's gonna get for his birthday. He has two of them. It's like one of them that's 1,016 pieces, and then there's one that's 1,100 pieces. It's the Skull Sorcerer's Dragon, and then Skull Sorcerer's Dungeon. There's a new season 14, and that's what it is.
Nice.
I have a Lego, but I try to I make new things, but I have never made something very big. So
Yeah,
That's okay.
I have
Okay,
Legos.
boys and girls, I'd love to see everybody's Lego collections, but we'll have to stop it there for now. And can you all take out your math notebook and workbook? As you're moving your supplies over to math, Devonch, what was your last comment? You were waiting very patiently.
No, I just wanted to show my Lego, but then you said
Yeah, maybe later in the week we can show some more Legos. Oh my goodness, Arjun, that's really cool.
My brother made this.
Oh, okay. Well, tell your brother he did a great job. Oh, there he is. Okay, boys and girls, we have some math we're going to get to today. How did you all feel about the math homework yesterday? Up, sideways, down. Any specific questions about it? We were adding money. Did anybody have questions about it? Devonch?
like today and to yesterday, we had the number bond things, and I still don't understand them.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. How about we go over the answers to page 4, since that was your homework page where there were some number bonds. Would that be good? Okay, let's go over the answers to page 4. I know that the number bonds get confusing. The first time I taught number bonds, I thought it was confusing as well because it's hard to tell what they're wanting you to write in the bond. Even if you can solve it and you can add the numbers without a problem, knowing what to write in the bonds, I know can be confusing, but I think it is a great helpful strategy once you understand it. So let's definitely go over that. Okay, so on page 4 in the workbook, boys and girls, I'd love for you to follow along. Page 4. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Okay. Oh, and sorry, this one's already filled in. Do I have my other workbook? No. Okay, so I'll just reveal a little bit at a time. Okay, so page 4, first one, 95 cents. They already tell you that that's what's going to round up to $1. The other part of the number bond is always what is needed for it to get to $1. Okay? So in that case, it's 5 cents. Now, the strategy here is to add on $1, solve it, and then we need to subtract the change there. Because basically, think of it this way. I'm going to add a whole $1 to my coin collection just to make it easier to add, but I really shouldn't have added $1. I should have added only 95 cents. So I have to subtract that 5 cents afterward. I added too much. Now I have to take away that 5 cents that I should not have added. It was just rounding it to be easier to do it mentally, but we have to subtract back that 5 cents. So your total should be $5.70. We're going to look today at subtraction where we're going to do the opposite. Because when you subtract, you have to add back these extra cents, which we're going to get into. Now, Devonch, tell me what you did for number 5, and let's see if we can clarify some things.
So I didn't really do it because I didn't understand it. And I asked my mom and dad, but they were too busy, so I didn't know how to do it.
Okay. Well, Devansh, in the future, I would highly suggest using the example at the top of the page and your math notebook. And then if it's still confusing, you did the right thing by asking your parents. It sounds like it was a busy day yesterday. But I would highly encourage you to use these examples because I think they're really helpful.
Okay.
Okay, let's walk through number 5.
But I can try to do it for, like, just even if it's not solved, I can try to solve it.
Yep, that's a great way to do it. So just keep yourself unmuted, Devansh, and you can be my helper with this. So 80 cents is what gets rounded up because it's close to $1.
Uh-huh.
How much more do you need? What can you add to 80 cents to get to $1?
20 cents.
Perfect. So that's what would go in that part of the number bond.
Mm-hmm.
If you get confused about whether it's this number or this number that goes in the bond, keep in mind that it's going to add up to $1. So 80 cents is the only one close to $1. This one's not close to $1. Okay, so then we add $1 to 1640 to get $17.40, and we subtract this part. Because we added on 20 cents too much, so we have to subtract it afterwards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, since for 1640 we forgot to subtract the 20, so now we're subtracting it.
Oh, yes. Basically, instead of adding 80 cents, we added $1. Well, that was 20 cents too much, so we have to subtract it later.
Okay.
Okay. Shatish, would you explain what you did for number 6 now? Rihanna, Ahana, and Sai, I should see you in front of your camera. There's Rihanna. There's Sai. Just waiting on Ahana. Sweetheart, make sure you don't leave for math. There you are. Okay, Shatish is going to walk us through number 6.
Wait, what is it again? I forgot.
Down here, $43.55 plus 75 cents.
Wait. Wait, which page was it again?
4.
Oh, page 4. Question for page 4, right?
Mhm.
Okay, question. What question? I forgot.
Oh, question 6.
Okay. Okay, so it's technically 75 cents. So one of the models should be 75 and the other one should be 15.
75 cents plus what equals $1?
Okay, 75 plus 25.
Correct. Remember that $1 is 100 cents. So you should be thinking through 75 plus what equals 100?
Yeah. Then 40. So then we could do $43.55 plus $1. That will be $44.55.
I just realized I was adding $10 for some reason with my earlier class. Sorry about that. Okay. Keep going.
Then we bring down the $44.55. Then we should subtract 25 cents. 25 cents. So then when we subtract 25 cents, the answer will be $44.30.
Great job.
And $44.30 should be our answer.
Excellent. So we subtract that extra part because that's the difference between what we actually added and what we should have added. We always subtract that difference. Does that make sense, boys and girls?
Yeah.
But basically with those examples, instead of adding 75 cents, instead of 75, well, that's a nickel. I added $1. And so I was mentally thinking, not 75 cents, I'm doing $1. Well, that's 25 cents too much. So I have to go back and subtract 25 cents from the total amount since I added 25 cents too much. Okay, now today we're going to be looking at the opposite of that because when we're subtracting, we'll end up doing the exact opposite. So we will be doing some notes in our notebook, but before we get to that, I want to show you some things in our math textbook. Okay, so this is going to be 10.2 subtraction. Now, with subtraction, just like addition, it's going to be pretty normal when there's no regrouping. Like in this problem, there is a boy, let's say, Darsh has $32.25. And he wants to buy a pair of shoes that cost $21. Now, how much does he have left? What can we do to solve that? He has $32.25. He's going to buy a pair of shoes for $21. Do you need to do anything with that 25 cents? No. All you need to do is take away these $21 from the $32. Let's see. I'm going to take off that 10, 10, and 1, and you're left with $11.25. You're just taking away 21 from that. Similarly, if we have a problem where we're subtracting just change, like in this, let's say that Darshika has $28.95. And after getting a blouse for herself, all she has is 50 cents left. So she had this much, and now she's left with only 50 cents. So how much did she spend? Well, we can just take away 50 cents from only the coins here, only her change. She had $28.95. Well, we take away that 50 cents just from this 95. What is 95 minus 50? Krish?
45.
Good, 45. I don't know about you, but I find subtraction like that even easier with money because you can visualize, oh, well, there's still 1 quarter and 2 dimes. 95 minus 50 is 45. And the $28, we already know she definitely had spent that $28. All we're changing is the cents. And we can see 28.45. Let's do an example of that one just all together. 21.75 plus or minus 30 cents. Do we need to do anything to these dollars? Nope. All we have to subtract is the cents, 75 minus 30. Rihanna, can you solve that for us? Number 3.
That's 45 cents. So $21.45.
Good. The cents is now 45 cents and it's still $21. So $21.45. Okay. Let's take a look at this one now. Let's say that Arjun gets a jacket that costs, whoa, $79.65. You wouldn't spend that much on a jacket, Arjun? Yeah, I don't think it's worth that.
I have tennis shoes that tend like $50 or something.
Whoa.
We only do 15 or like that.
Nice. Yep, everybody's families has a different way of doing it. But this jacket costs $79.65. Then he gets a shirt. Whoa, this must be a grown-up, not a kid. Because a $43.25 shirt, that's too much for a kid. That shirt costs $43.25. Now the question is, how much more is that jacket than the shirt? Well, this one doesn't even need regrouping, so we can do it mentally. $79 minus $43 is $36. Once it's written out, hopefully you can do that mentally. 7 minus 4 is 3 in the tens place. 9 minus 3 is 6. But you are certainly welcome to write out problems like that along the side if you need to do it this way. And then you subtract the cents. 65 cents minus 25 cents. Well, in this one, 6 minus 2 in the tens place is 4. So you know it's going to be 40 cents left. So it's $36.40. Dricia, can you do an example of or solve this next one for us? Number 7, $65. Actually, and let's write this one out as the first example. Take out your notes.
Miss Gardner, could you also give me some time to write it out? Could you give me some time to write it out, Miss Gardner?
Yes.
What was the question?
This is math lesson 10.2. We won't be finishing this today, by the way. This is a 2-day lesson, so we'll just do a little bit more today and then keep going with subtraction tomorrow.
Okay. What was the thing I needed to solve?
$65.75 minus $12.45. If it helps you, you can put the dollars over here, cents over here.
$53.20.
Say it again, please.
$53.20.
$53 and almost 30. Is that what you said?
No. Yeah.
75 minus 45 is 30.
Oh.
Very close. If it helps you, boys and girls, to write these out, stacking your numbers, you can certainly do that. And as we'll see, stacking our numbers with money is going to be just like normal subtraction with regrouping. We'll get to that tomorrow, but it's just like normal subtraction. Okay, one other type of problem I wanted to do, this is going to be the last part of our math lesson, is subtracting mentally by rounding up to $1. Now, imagine there's this watermelon for $4.70 and an apple for 80 cents. We want to know what's the difference between these two prices. So that's basically saying $4.70 minus 80 cents.
$2.10.
Now, the best way to mentally do this is to think of this 80 cents as rounded up to $1. Now, we subtracted too much in that case. We subtracted 20 cents too much. So to figure out the answer, it's $4.70 minus $1. We did that mentally. But then we have to add, notice here, we're adding 20 cents to get a final answer of $3.90. Because instead of subtracting 80 cents, so I was supposed to take away this 80 cents from the apple, subtracting that amount. But I took away $1 instead. That was 20 cents too much. So I have to add back 20 cents. Add back that 20 cents later because I took too much before. Okay? Or think of it this way. If I say, Ahna, can I borrow 80 cents from you? And you say, I don't have 80 cents. I can give you $1. And I'll say, oh, okay. Then I guess I'll give you back 20 cents that I have. I took too much from you. Now I'm going to give you back the difference. Okay, let's write out an example of this. This is the last part that we'll write in our notes today. Here is our problem. $5.60 minus 90 cents, which we're going to write as $0.90.
Pretty sure the top.
The top one is the one we did already. Now, which of these two numbers should we round up to the closest dollar? Arjun?
$0.90 to $1.
Good. Now, Arjun, once I do that, here is my number bond. $1, 90 cents goes here. What goes in the other bond?
10 cents.
Perfect.
I did that because the difference is 10 cents.
Yeah, the difference is 10 cents. That's how much we rounded up by. So basically, instead of subtracting instead of subtracting 90 cents, I took too much away. I'm going to subtract $1. So that's step one. $5.60 minus $1, because we can do that really easily in our head. What's 560 minus $1? Krish?
It's like you're minusing 100 from it. It's $4.60.
Good. $4.60, which you can think of as 560 minus 100, if it helps you. Now, that's not our final answer because we took away a whole dollar. Was that taking away too much? Yes. We subtracted $1. That was too much that we took away. So we have to add back the difference. What was the difference? Arima?
We have to add back 10 cents.
That's right. We're going to add back 10 cents. So take that 460 and add 10 cents because we took away too much. What is 460 plus 10 cents?
It's 470.
Perfect. 470. That's our final answer. Now let me write at the bottom a little hint with this. How did I write it before? Yeah. Add the extra cents when subtracting. So whenever you see number bond problems like this, and we are subtracting $1 rather than 90 cents, for example, we always add those extra cents. It's the exact opposite of what we were doing yesterday. Yesterday, we were adding numbers and subtracting the extra cents. Now, we're subtracting and adding the extra cents. Okay? So it's always the opposite. Any questions about this? Tricia? Oh, nope. Okay, let me go over your workbook pages, including one page, which is going to be practice of that specific concept. Okay, so your pages for today are page 7. This one, you should be able to mentally do these where it's like just subtracting only the dollars. So $6.35 minus $6 is 35 cents because it's $0 and then just the cents. Same with this one. All you have to do is subtract the dollars. So hopefully you can do these mentally. If not, feel free to get a whiteboard out and do your work there. Then at the bottom of the page, color in your answers to see what shape is left, which I think probably you can all tell what it's going to be. Now, over here, we've got problems where you'll subtract the dollars and cents. And they've separated it out for you so that you can see it's $3 minus $1 is $2. And then 20 cents minus 15 cents. And then put it together to see the final answer. I think that'll be straightforward for you guys. Finally, this is the one that we just did examples of, and I know this can get confusing, but hopefully that example helps you. We've got a number bond here where we're rounding up to $1, and we add back those extra cents. And it actually already prompts you. It shows you that you'll add back those extra cents. You are always adding back this part that's the difference. Got it? Who feels ready to do this on their own? Ahna, it looks like you're feeling very confident. Krish is feeling confident. Arima, Devan, Strisha, Shatij, and Sai, great job. I'm so happy to see you guys feeling good about it. It's such a wonderful feeling to be like, oh, I got this. This is easy. I got this. Okay. I think all your Bright Finger assignments are pretty straightforward today. So we'll just get started on reading groups unless there's any other questions. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good afternoon.
Bye. Bye.
Miss Gardner.
Bye, Miss Garner.
Bye.
Wait,
Okay.
reading groups.
Yep, just my reading group is going to stay with me. Rashi, you're in the Wednesday group, and today is Tuesday. And everybody else, Nethra is in the 8:30 class this week, although that might eventually switch back. So that's why she's not with us today. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording.